We live in a world where phones are part of our everyday life. For some people, putting down their phone in order to drive seems like an unneeded task, but it is essential to driving not only safely on the road, but also to keep the road safe. For others, texting while driving not only endangers the driver, the passenger, as well as the other people on the road. An article from Edgar Seiner and Associates states that approximately 660,000 drivers in the U.S. are currently using their phone at any given point during the day. That's a lot of people not only risking their lives, but also everyone else's lives, simply because they want to be on their phone for a simple task. Even though it might just seem like a simple task to respond to that text or to answer the phone, it can lead to a big disaster. With an increased dependence on our phones, it can cause a big distraction while driving. The article Drive Now, Text Later states that brain activity associated with driving is lessened by 37% when someone's on their phone. That means that while half of your brain is still focused on driving, the other half is focused on the phone. When you're driving, you're supposed to have all your brain focused on driving to keep yourself safe. If only half of your brain is affected, not only is your reaction time greatly decreased, but also not focusing causes you to not see certain things that could lead to a big disaster. Just taking a short glance at your phone can take at least 5 seconds. That's 55. If you were traveling 55 miles per hour, you would have gone the length of a football field at least without looking at the road. That's a long time to not be looking at the road, and a lot can happen during that time. Consequently, not watching the road, the crashes are very common. The article Texting and Driving Statistics states that a person texting spends 10% of their time out of their lane. That means that while their phone is in one hand and their hand is on the steering wheel, they're looking at their phone and not the road, so it causes them to steer into the other lanes. And since they're not looking at the road, they can't tell that there's in the other lane, which causes an increase in accidents. 23% of accidents per year are a result of people being on their phone. That's 1.6 million crashes a year that are a result to a person having to be on their phone just because they want to respond to a simple text. As a result of these crashes, lives are forever changed. Thousands of people are killed or injured each year, according to an article from Edgar. In 2012, about 3,000 innocent lives were taken because somebody had to respond to a simple text. Around 420,000 people were injured and having to deal with the medical bills. Thousands of families were affected, either having to deal with the loss of a loved one or having to deal with not only the medical expenses but also the car expenses. A driver who is the reason for the accident would not only have to deal with the guilt of either killing or harming another person, but also have to deal with the expenses of the medical field and also having to deal with the expenses of their cars. They might also even be charged with attempted murder. In addition to knowing and understanding the dangers of texting and driving, we must also set and enforce a law that bans texting while driving. The best way from texting is just to turn off your phone and keep it away so it's not a distraction while driving. However, for most people, they don't see the phone as a distraction until it's too late for them to fix. Therefore, we must set and enforce a law now that bans texting while driving to not only save the thousands of lives, but also to keep the roads safe for everyone. While there are some places that do have bans, they don't enforce them, like school zones and stuff, where they have them set, but they never enforce it, so people disregard it and don't worry about it, which makes the bans seemingly pointless. Although we live in a world centered on our phones, we must set them down in order to keep not only ourselves safe, but also everyone else safe on the roads. Don't let your last words be a simple text.